This video is based on the artificial ecosystem based optimization algorithm. This algorithm mimics the different behaviors of living organisms such as production, consumption, and decomposition. In this video, we will try to understand what is this algorithm all about, how it is working step by step, various steps used in this algorithm, and mathematical models to update agent's position in the search space. As you can see here, we have different types of individuals. So we will try to understand how we can update their position in the search space and their behavior according to the mathematical models. And we will try to understand how this algorithm is inspired by the ecosystem in the real life. First of all, as you can see here, it is a nature-inspired, population-based meta-heuristic optimization algorithm that is introduced in 2019. Author tested this algorithm on different benchmark test functions, and this algorithm provides better results as compared to other meta-heuristic optimization algorithms. We can use this algorithm to solve optimization problems as well as real life engineering design optimization problems. The main inspiration behind this algorithm is the flow of energy in an ecosystem on the earth, or we can say how energy is transferred from one individual to another in food chain. So as this algorithm is inspired by the flow of energy in the ecosystem, so first we will try to understand the ecosystem on the earth and the energy flow in the ecosystem. Here you can see ecosystem components, abiotic and biotic. Abiotic components are the non-living parts of the ecosystem, for example, water, air, and rock. Biotic components are the living parts of the ecosystem, for example, animals, plants, and microorganisms. Here you can see different biotic components for the ecosystem: producers, consumers, and decomposers. As we know, living things grow, change with time, develop, and die. They can reproduce and divide into many. So here we have different biotic components for the ecosystem: producers, consumer, and decomposers. Artificial ecosystem based optimization algorithm mimic the different behaviors of producers, consumers, and decomposers. So in the upcoming slides, we will try to understand in detail about producers, consumers, and decomposers. First, you can see we have producer. Producer, also known as autotrophs. For example, green plants. They can make their own food. As we all know, green plants can make their own food through photosynthesis process, where they convert the sun energy into chemical energy, and they use the converted energy for their growth and to make their food. Next, we have consumers. Consumers cannot make their own food like producers. They are dependent on either producers or on other consumers for the food and energy. Here you can see consumers are further classified as primary consumers, herbivores, secondary consumers, carnivores, tertiary consumers, omnivores. First, we have primary consumers, that is, herbivores. Primary consumers cannot manufacture their own food, they are dependent on the producers for their food. Here you can see different types of primary consumers: goat, sheep, rabbit, snail, grasshopper, deer, and other. Primary consumers need lots of energy, and you can see cattle and sheep, they eat all day long. Next type of consumer we have secondary consumer, that is carnivores. Secondary consumers cannot make their own food, and they are also dependent on the other consumers for their food, or you can say they are dependent on the primary consumers for the food and energy. Here you can see different types of secondary consumers: lion, fox, snake, frog, owl, shark, tiger, and other. Next we have tertiary consumers. They are also known as omnivores. Omnivores can feed on both plants and meat for energy, so they can eat primary consumers as well as secondary consumers for their energy. And you can see here different types of omnivores: rat, crow, human, dog, and other. Now you can see here we have the food chain. Now in the food chain, as you can see here, we have plants as producer, as plant can make their own food using water, sunlight, and nutrients present in the soil. And you can see we have the primary consumer, grasshopper. It can take energy from the producer. And you can see we have secondary consumer, rat can take energy from grasshopper. And next we have snake. Snake can take energy from rat. And next you can see we have eagle. Eagle can take energy from the snake. And when the eagle died, body is decomposed, as you can see here, and all the nutrients present in the body, they are consumed by the soil. And you can see around the body we have the green grass. Next food chain you can see here. Now we will try to understand this according to artificial ecosystem based optimization algorithm. So first we have producers as plants, and you can see primary consumers as grasshopper, deer, and rabbit, and they are dependent on producer for their energy. And next you can see here we have secondary consumers. They are dependent on primary consumer for their energy. And next you can see in the food chain we have different types of carnivores. They can consume one another. And in the end we have decomposition. When the consumer died, body is decomposed and all the nutrients consumed by the soil. This algorithm used the production, consumption, and decomposition behavior to find out the optimal solution for the optimization problems. In this algorithm, production operator is used to balance the exploration and exploitation phase for meta-heuristic. As we all know, if exploration and exploitation phase is not balanced, algorithm easily trapped in the local optima, and once the algorithm is trapped in the local optima, it is unable to find out the global solution. So it is very important to maintain the balance between the exploration and exploitation phase. So here production operator is used to maintain the balance between the exploration and exploitation phase. Next we have consumption. Consumption operator is used to improve the exploration phase for this algorithm. And next we have decomposition. Decomposition operator is used for exploitation phase. For example, you can see here in this algorithm we have population, and in the population we have producer, consumer, and decomposer. In this algorithm we have only one producer and one decomposer. For example, we have 10 individuals in the population, so we have one producer, 1 decomposer, and 8 consumers. And you can see here we have different types of consumers: carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores. And in this algorithm, we will use the fitness function to calculate the consumer's energy level. For the minimization problems, we will consider larger values as the individuals having higher energy, and we will arrange all individuals in the descending order. Next, you can see we have different steps used in this algorithm. First, we will initialize all important parameters used in this algorithm. Next, we will initialize the population for the n individuals in the search space. Here you can see we have n individuals. For example, we have here population size 10. It means value for n we have here 10, and we have 1 producer, 1 decomposer, and 8 consumers. So we will initialize the population for the n individuals in the search space randomly. After that, using any fitness function, we will calculate the fitness value for the each agent, and we will select the best agent among all. After that, we will check the current iteration, whether it is greater than or equal to maximum iteration or not. First, we will update the position for the producers. After that, for the consumers, and then we have decomposition process. How we can update the position for the producers? Here the production operator is used to update the position for the new individuals, and this is the mathematical model you can see here we can use to update the position for the new individuals. As I told you earlier, suppose we have 10 individuals, then we have only 1 producer. Here you can see value is x1. It means we have only 1 producer, and we will arrange all the individuals in the descending order. And when we will arrange all the individuals in the descending order, producers are considered as worst solution. Decomposers are considered as the best solution, and in between we have consumers. So first of all, as you can see here, this is the mathematical model that we can use to update the position for the producers. Here, the new position for the individuals is generated randomly between the best individual and randomly generated individual in the search space. Here A is the weight coefficient, and using this we can drift the agent's position linearly from its position randomly toward the best individual, and we will update the new position within the boundary that is in between upper bound and lower bound. In the earlier iterations, the new individuals will guide the other individuals for exploration, and in the later iteration, it will guide the other individuals for exploitation around the best solution, as this operator is used to maintain the balance between the exploration and exploitation phase. Next, you can see here we have only 1 producer, that is x1, and it is the worst solution, as we will arrange all the individuals in the descending order, and according to this we have producer as the worst solution and decomposer as the best solution. Next, you can see here we have the position update for the consumers. So here you can see we will update the values from 2 to n, as x1 is the producer. So we will update the values from 2 to n. Here first we have herbivores in the population, and this is the mathematical model how we can update the herbivore position in the search space. Here C is the Lewis slide, that is the random walk done by the individual in the search space. Here, using Levis flight, individual can explore the search space, and here you can see this is the producer, as this is the herbivore consumers behavior, and herbivore are the primary consumers and they are only dependent on the producer for their food. So here this one is the producer, and this is the normal distribution with 0 mean and 1 standard deviation. After that, you can see here we will update the position for the consumers using consumer operator. So here this is the consumption behavior. Here we will check this condition. If this condition is true, we will update the position for the herbivores. Else we will check this condition. If this condition is true, we will update the position for the carnivores. Else for the omnivores. For the carnivores, you can see here, this is the mathematical model that we can use to update their position in the search space. Here C is the Levis flight, that is the random walk done by individual in the search space. And here you can see here we have XJ, that is another individual. As we know, carnivore can consume other consumers. So here XJ is another individual, and this is Levis flight, and this is agent's previous position. So here you can see in the food chain we have producer X1, and we have consumer, that is herbivores X2, X3, and you can see we have consumers, omnivore and carnivores, and in the end we have decomposer, that is the best solution. Primary consumers are only dependent on producers, so they can take the energy only from the producers. On the other hand, you can see we have different types of consumers and they can eat one another or individual having lower energy. Next, you can see we have the consuming behavior for the omnivores. Omnivores can feed both plant as well as meat. So here you can see we have producer, this one, and here you can see this is the another individual. So they can feed both producer as well as other consumers. So here you can see this is the producer, and here we have the another consumer. Here individuals can randomly choose the consumers, or they can choose the consumer having lower energy. And using this mathematical model, we can update the consumer's position in the search space. After that, we will calculate the fitness values for the updated solution. As you can see here in the model, as you can see here, first we have different types of consumers: herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore. If consumer is herbivore, then we will update the consumer position according to herbivore behavior. If the consumer is carnivore, then we will update its position according to carnivore's behavior. If the consumer is omnivore, then we will update its position according to the omnivore behavior. And after that, at step 9, you can see here, we will calculate the fitness value for the all agents, and then we will update the best among all. After that, the decomposition process starts. Here we will update the individual's position. Here the decomposition operator is used. Here you can see we have the consumer, and when the consumer died, the decomposition process started. That is discussed here. For example, you can see here we have the carnivore, and carnivore can feed on other consumers. And here we have herbivore, and suppose it is consumed by the carnivore and the leftover is consumed by other consumers like carnivores and omnivores. After death, we have here decomposition stages. Once heart stops beating, blood no longer supply oxygen and body cannot remove carbon dioxide. At this stage, body pH values start decreasing and body internal chemicals, enzymes start breaking down body tissues. Bacteria inside intestine start digesting intestine itself and the blisters may appear on the body. Next we have bloat. When the gas pressure inside body increases, the fluid present in body is forced to escape through nose, mouth, anus, and in this way body fluid enter in the environment and it attract insects. Insects begin to feed on the body fluid. Next stage we have active decay. Next stage we have advanced decay and in the end we have dry remain when only skin and bones left. Around remain you can see the green grass grow quickly due to the nutrients present in the soil. So this is the decomposition process. So this is the mathematical model for the decomposition behavior. Here we can update the position for the individuals in the search space according to this behavior. D is the decomposition factor. H, E, they are the coefficient. And here this is the individual position and this is the best individual. So this is the mathematical model to update the decomposer's position in the search space. After that, we will calculate the fitness value for the agents in the search space and then arrange them in the descending order. And after that, we will select the best among all and then we will check the stopping criteria. Once stopping criteria is met, stop, else go to step 6. Here you can see step 6. Again, we will update the position for the producers and consumers in the search space. And again, we will calculate the fitness values and update their position. Once the stopping criteria is met, stop and display the best solution is found in the previous iteration. So that's all about this algorithm. First, we will initialize all the important parameters. After that, we will randomly initialize individual's position in the search space, calculate fitness values, arrange them in the descending order, and then select the best among all. After that, we will update the position for the producers, consumers, and decomposers. Here you can see we have consumer. If the consumer is herbivore, update according to herbivore behavior. If it is carnivore, update according to carnivore behavior. Else update according to omnivore behavior. And after that, we have the decomposition process when the consumer died. After that, again, we will check the fitness values, update the best solution, and then check the solving criteria and display the optimal solution that is found in the previous iteration. So that's all about this video. If you have any questions, you can comment below and thanks for watching this video.